At the conclusion of the last stream, we put a mapping satellite in orbit about the moon, except this one isn't in orbit about the moon. This is in orbit about Minmus. Yeah, I just took the identical vessel, well, almost identical. I'll get to that in just a second. And just put it around Minmus. I didn't think I'd spend time in a live stream just doing that same thing again. So it is in a polar orbit about Minmus. Now, the one thing I did change is you might recall that the one around the moon is having electricity issues because I never bothered looking at how many batteries it needed in order to survive the night side of the moon while it's running all its experiments. And so I worked it out and I put on 2 of these additional Z400 batteries. That should take care of both the moon and Minmus, except the problem around the moon actually is that it was in a eclipse, a solar eclipse from Kerbal. That was what the problem was. The sun was being occluded by Kerbal, and that's not as much a problem on Minmus because Minmus is in that inclined orbit, but around the moon it happens every 6 days. That lasts way longer than the orbit spends on the dark side of the moon. So but that takes a ton of batteries in order to rectify, so I didn't bother fixing that. But maybe what I will do at some point is send some Kerbals up around the one that's around the moon, and we'll put some of these Z400s on there, and that should help it perform a little bit better. This thing, though, has a different problem in that it's running 2 experiments at the same time. The beep experiment, which comes from Kerbalism, and the resource scan, which I guess is stock. It's the stock part of this. The problem is that the beep experiment has to be in low space, and low space around Minmus, I believe, is 30 kilometers, while the resource scan has to be at an altitude of above 50 kilometers. So basically, it can't do both of them at the same time. So I have it in an orbit with an altitude of 100 kilometers, as you can see here, and if I go over to data, you can see it is doing the resource survey, but the beep experiment is an invalid situation. So I will just wait. I think the resource survey definitely takes less time, so I'm going to wait for the resource survey to be done. That's going to take 19 days and 4 hours. I set an alarm for that over here, so that will remind me to come over here, and then I'll put it down in a low orbit, and then it'll do the beep experiment for however long that's going to take. So let's get rid of alarm clock. So I just wanted to show you that. That's something I did in the interim. Oh, and I can also show it is doing a resource. The resource scan seems to be there right away, whether it is done doing the actual scanning or not. I think that's just the way this antenna works. I don't think there's much they can do with it. So you can see that there is all kinds of resource happening here. Now, one of these, is it here? I should be able to, where's the zoom button? You know what? One of these icons, one of these flags here, I think it's this one, is what I've infamously referred to as the Valley of the Kraken, because I got a base there and a rover there and some Kerbals went there and really weird things started happening. So I've sort of been shying away from there. But you can see it's not in a particularly resource rich area anyway. So one of the things we were talking about, just literally in the chat just before I started the stream, was potentially moving it. That would probably be a great idea. Maybe we can just sort of hook something onto it, hop it over to somewhere around here where the resources are a little higher. Something to think about. But in the meantime, sticking with Minmus and sticking to what this stream is mostly going to be about, which is going to be about rovers. But while I'm around Minmus, I have on Minmus the Rove Mate 1. And while I was in the process of bringing this out towards Minmus, the Rove Mate 1 completed its gravity scan in the biome that it's in. So it's time to move it over to another biome. So I'm going to do that actually right now. I'm going to move over to my Rove Mate. Now I'm hoping this is again my Valley of, oh no, seems to be behaving okay. Yep, we're good. And I actually had already started, here, let's get on our little map. I can show you what this thing's been busy. Oh, that's not the right map. This one. Come here. There we go. That's the one I'm looking at. This little fella's been busy here. He's been in these there's like slopes here and midlands and lowlands, and it's been hopping around. Over there is what I call the Valley of the Kraken. That is this zone over here. But up here is some greater flats, or some great flats, and I've yet to do the gravity scan or the seismic scan in the great flats. So I think what I started to do is I started driving to, it was up here, and I started driving this way towards the Great Flats. And then I realized, hang on a second, this thing has still a fair amount of monopropellant aboard. If I click on there, it's got monopropellant aboard, and it's got 4 of these linear RCS thruster blocks. And this is my Greater Flats right down here. So I'm thinking I'll do a quick save first, but I can save myself a bunch of time by simply doing a little hop, and I just need to go straight north. So I just got to sort of orient myself. North is up this way. I got to put on I should turn on the reaction wheels. I think I've turned them off for the driving bit. Let me see, control. Put the wheel authority right up there. Actually, it should be 50. It doesn't need to be that high. There we go. Okay, and we're going to put on RCS, and these thruster blocks are connected to the throttle. I've adjusted it so that's the way it should work. Oh, and I should also turn this. Let me find it. Command. Control point should be up. There we go. That's going to help with our little hop here. So, all right. So, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I'm nervous. I should be probably nervous, but go. There we are. We're off. We're off. We're going to go this way. And I gotta watch you can see my trajectory going here. I don't have to go, I gotta watch my fuel. I mean, I can come short and then just land here. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me how much delta V I have because this is monoprop with RCS thrusters, and so even Kerbal Engineer's a bit confused here. Maybe give it a little, where are we next to our Apple axis here? Oh, we're a long way from Apple Apps. Let's get up. Why wasn't I time warping there? Oh, it's not letting me time warp. I'm too... Really? Because my periapsis is too low. So I can read the chat in the meantime. Hello, Dan. Welcome. You must have joined in just as I was getting this ready to go. Yes, James is asking about the shaking in the screen, and that came from Scatterer, and he's asking, did I find a solution? And the answer to that question is yes. I can't show it here, but if you go into the Scatterer setting and turn off that anti-aliasing, I can never say that word, that solves that problem. So there we go. Hello, Elena. Yeah. Oh, I see that that's already been mentioned in the chat. All right, where are we? How are we doing? Can I time warp now? Oh, for goodness. I feel like I'm going down. I'm definitely going down. What the heck kind of drugs is this thing on that... Why is my time to Apple... I don't know what's going on here. I'm definitely going down here, so... I can see... What is that straight below me? Must be one of them there, Minmus rocky things. Okay, I'm gonna extend this just a bit. Slow ourselves down here a bit. So let's extend. I can see my crash point. See that? Let's push that crash point out further. Again, I gotta watch that monopropellant because the last thing I want is to... we don't need this. Still going down. I should really... Okay, let's... Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm getting... There we go. That feels better. I think I'm good. I'm not sure if I'm quite there yet, but I feel good. Let's arrest all our horizontal velocity here. Minmus is so forgiving. Yeah, that saved a lot of time. I could probably fall from here and be okay. Oh, the dot's right below me. This circle coming from Kerbal Engineer. Look at that. Nespa problem. Beautiful. Okay. And then something else I discovered, because I was trying to drive this thing, and always one of the issues with driving rovers is, here, let's take the brakes off now, is that the W also tries to pitch you over, and I was solving that by just turning down the reaction wheels, but then I was having trouble driving it at all. Actually, W doesn't turn the wheels anymore. The wheels are just rolling right now because I'm going downhill. I now have that mapped to page up and page down. Page up on my keyboard is rolling forward, and that no longer affects the reaction wheels, so that's groovy. I should actually turn down the reaction wheels just for turning. There. And page down decrease is like gets you to drive more slowly. And that makes way more sense, and I don't know how I did that. Can't remember. If I have no idea. I just suddenly I don't even remember doing it. Okay, so I can tell here because oh wait, the gravity scan is running. Hang on. Well, we're back. We're in the Great Flats. Cool. Seismic scan is done. Let's get down to the proper Great Flats. I can see, Kerbal Engineer is telling me I'm actually in the Great Flats, but let's get down to the proper Great Flat. Turn the RCS off. Don't need that. Physics warps always works. Yes, thank you. I should have realized that. That's okay. This thing's getting down to... I just want to get it down on the flats proper like. So you can see all the icons. That's back where the base is. So we're not that far from it. That was a landing I did with a bunch of Kerbals. So that's why I have some of this stuff, because we did do a landing, but the gravity scan takes like 73 days, so that's something that's done with a rover, not with... Okay, let's slow down, and we'll turn here. Brakes on. And I just want to turn it for the solar panels. Get it face right into the sun, so as the sun goes overhead, basically we're just going to turn this so it's like facing due east. There we go. Whoop. There we go. Brakes on. So there, that should be it. Should be doing this gravity scan. I mean, it's another, well, I got 10 of it so far, but it's another 46 science, so it's not a waste of time to do that. We'll leave this here. We're going to get ourselves to the Space Center, into the VAB, and we're going to be doing us some work. Building us a rover. Okay, so let's start by bringing up our Minmus Rovemate 1, which is somewhere along here. R. Rovemate 1, there it is. And we're going to do some modifications to this. So we're going to remove this whole big booster for now. Probably get back to that in a little bit, but for now we're just going to park that there. So there it is. This is the thing. Now one thing is it has quite a lot, like 2 of these double 1000 Z1K batteries. I did that so that it could process its data and transmit it all the way through the night on Minmus. I actually based the battery power based on all the experiments it would run, but that would get done pretty quick. But on the moon, where it's a 3-day night, no way it's going to survive the night. So I'm not going to even bother with the batteries. We're just going to have to put up with the fact that this thing isn't going to make it through the night. Now let's move some of this equipment. We have the GravMax, the Geiger counter, and the double C seismic accelerometer. We're going to take these batteries, we're going to throw them... Actually, let's put them on the back. I think they'll look better back there. Or is this the front? I never can tell. There. That, I can tell, is upside down. Not that it really matters, but, you know. Okay, that is that. I don't think I need that little platform now. That was a transition, so I can get that out of there. We'll put this tower back on. There we go. We're not going to be doing, they're not going to be spending too much time with this. Okay, let's get a couple of lights on here. You got to light things up a little bit. There we go. Same thing over on the other side. Sure. A little back, actually. There we go. Now, they are kind of into the texture there a little bit, so I'm just going to raise them up. So this is, I suppose, whoops, the Rove Mate 2 now. Save that. Okay, and now the one thing about this thing, what was it? Oh no, see the delta V that's here is the delta V that's in this transfer stage that's down here on the bottom. If I take off the Rover Prime like that, it shows that there's no delta V, but that's not true because there is the this thing. We got these tanks full of monopropellant here, and we also have again these 4 linear RCS ports. Now each of these are 2 kilonewtons of thrust each, and this thing has a mass of 822 kilograms. So that's a thrust to weight just a little bit under 1. That's on Kerbin though, so this thing couldn't take off or land on Kerbin. But on the moon, where the gravity is 1/6 that it is on Kerbin, this should be good, just like that. And I worked it out. There's 390 meters per second of delta V in this guy right now. So all I need to do is kind of, I put this guy on. That's now 1,384, but I really got to add on another 390. RCS is calculated in the delta V. I've always had issues with that with Kerbal. Like, here, if I do this and I put on RCS, see, it doesn't, I don't know what it is about me, but it doesn't show it. Right? RCS delta V. I can show it with, just to show people how I knew this, if I go to RCS build aid, will show it. But you got to get the right up, down. No. What I have to do, it won't show it like that. No. What I have to do is actually put one of these. I'm getting too much into the weeds. If I put this one on, let's put it on dorsal ventral, and then this, if I put it on up. Whoops. There it is. Showing me 380 meters per second of delta V in this vehicle. Let's put that back the way it was. Let's close that, because that's just confusing the situation. There we go. Okay. So there's 380 added on to this 1,384. And then I'm going to put this. Well, actually, am I done with... No, I'm not done with this. Oh my goodness. What am I thinking about? We'll figure this out in a little bit. Because I have also... Now, I haven't unlocked a whole lot of new science, but I now do have the SPRT medium scanning arm. So, I want to put... Sorry, I'm going to move that booster. It's in a bad spot. I don't want to get rid of it, but I'm just going to move it. Probably roll it around that way. Oh wait, I want the smaller. There's a bigger, smaller one than that. Is it or not? Maybe not. Magneto boom. Oh, there it is. The small scanning arm. There we go. Because this is just a little rover. That looks better. Oh my gosh, there's a big one. We'll get that. Okay. And so I'm going to put this guy on. There's its scanning range. So if I can get up near some sort of moon rocks or little moon craters, then I can do some scanning of them too. And that will be, again, some more science. Okay, so let's actually check on the... because now I no longer trust... there. And put it on dorsal band. There we go. 353. Let me write that number down. 353 meters per second that we have in there. So we just got to remember that. And the weight should still be okay. Get away. 882. Yeah, so I should be able to land with this. I think it should be fine. So we're going to, again, put that off the dorsal ventral. Turn off RCS. And just remember there's another 300 and... goodness gracious, I wrote it down and I lost where I wrote it. 353 meters per second. Okay, let's put this transfer stage on. So that is 1333. So 350, 40. Yeah, let's put this back on. I'm doing math in my head, which is always scary, but my figuring is that if I have a total of about 56, yeah, 54, 5420, 350, yeah, no, something like that. Oh wait, oh, 40, no, 5260, 5260. Okay, so I need a little bit more fuel on this guy. If I can get this up to about 5260, but I know this tank is not full, so I'm just gonna add more onto here. There, that should cover this easy peasy. Okay, so, well, you're all people thanking me for the tutorials. I'm glad that they help. It's always like a little bit, you know, this game's great if you can just, well, it's great anyway, but it gets to another level if you actually can get a little bit of knowledge into you and plan a little bit rather than just seeing what happens and seeing things blowing up. You don't think the RCS was calculating? No, yeah, okay. I'm reading through the chat, but I'm actually gonna stop and concentrate. Okay, I think this should do it. I think this should be my moon rover. Let's just check on TWR. So we have a TWR and a transfer stage of just over 1. This is 1.59 for the middle stage. That's fine. And then we have 1. Well, no, that's got to be adjusted. Yeah, we gotta up this. For a launch thrust to weight of 1.33, which I'm always rather pedantic about there. I'm thinking this is low. I did this time write myself a little list to make sure. Okay, I did that. I think this is ready. I think I'm gonna fly this just the way it is. Yeah. So let's save it, and yeah, let's go. Let's just do it. Launch. I should check staging. Check your staging. Everything looks fine. That's for the top bit, yeah. Launch. Okay, I did that. I don't think, no, I don't see any smart. Oh, there is a smart part on here, so this should, yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it. So, run, launch. I'm going to deliberately launch into a bit of an inclined orbit, 1 degree, even though I'm going to the moon. And that's deliberately so I don't go into an equatorial orbit about the moon. I want to go into a bit of an inclined orbit about the moon. That will give me more options. All right, just making sure that goes okay. That will give me more options when it comes to my landing spot, because I've yet to decide upon my landing spot. Oh, speaking of which, oh my golly, I do have contracts here. I have a science data from the surface of the moon, transmit or recover scientific data from the surface of the moon. That should be good. And do a soft landing uncrewed. It does not specify a location, so we can land anywhere. So might need to change this to lander type. We'll see. But I think these two contracts should be good. Where am I gonna plunk this? Got too many windows. I'm gonna put that there, and that there. There we go. Hello back to sunny Florida. We are in not so sunny Canada. Actually, I think it is sunny today. It shouldn't be that way. Does John Nowak still come here? No, he's not. He's working now during the day, so he doesn't pop by the live streams, unfortunately. I have 2 monitors going, Zeb. I don't have 1 monitor going. It's just my eyeballs can only be on 1 monitor at a time. Alright, how's this going? Looking good. Canada, I am in the province of Ontario. Alright, how are we doing here? That is good, that's good. Everything, yep. Have I tried making a reusable rocket? I do have a reusable space plane. I'm not a big... I used to do that. I used to, like, do these burn backs with my boosters and get them to come, you know, and it's a lot of work for not a lot of payout. I mean, I've never found money to be really... Where's my money situation? I'm at 3.7 million Kerbucks without really even paying that much attention. Half the time I'm doing stuff that has no contracts associated with it. So, although I have done it, it's just a lot of work for, I think, not a lot of payout. So in my regular games, no, I don't tend to do these, you know, vertical landing boosters and all that kind of stuff. I just tend to throw my boosters away. Alright, Apple Axis is still just getting to 55 kilometers, so still got a ways to go. We're going to be pumping this fairing pretty soon. That should be done automatically. There we go. Seemed to go alright. Unfortunately, the script always does that at 50 kilometers. I'm thinking probably waiting a little bit with this ugly... clearly very unaerodynamic payload might have been not a bad idea, but 'tis what it is now. I don't have a... Other than getting into the code, it's hard-coded in there. Yeah, you can see me losing Apple Axis. It cut at 80, it's now down to 76, but you know what? It's going to be fine. Alright, and almost in space. I did, by the way, write a launch script for my spaceplane talking about reusability and all that kind of stuff. And I put it to the test, and it works pretty well. I think it definitely can do a better job than me manually. So I'm pretty excited about that. So the next time I use my space plane to get some Kerbals into orbit, we will be seeing that launch script at work. Okay, so we're about to do our circularization here. And this sucker is done. Or it's in orbit. We still got to get it to the moon.